Hi, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi and welcome. It is exactly about just over halfway through the year, and I really wanted to take this moment today to go back through my vision board for 2025 and kind of see where I'm at on all of my goals or things that I had in mind at the beginning of the year. I will say, after briefly looking at it, I was very ambitious, and while I did do some of the bigger stuff, some of the other stuff I will probably have to push to another year, but I will explain all of that as I get to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my makeup while we talk through all of the things that were on my vision board and where I'm currently at with them. I'm gonna go ahead and put my vision board right here. I did change it. If you go back and look at some of my old videos, I originally did one that was more of like a yellow aesthetic, and honestly, I just hated seeing it every day. I think I really liked that color at the time, but then seeing it as my desktop background and seeing it as my phone background, eventually I was just like, actually, this is really ugly. So I made a new one. This one's green and black. Yes, it's giving Slytherin. I'm a Hufflepuff, but love their colors. Let's go ahead and start from the bottom right. We're gonna start with that bread photo. Now the thing with the bread photo was actually because I really wanted to make a sourdough starter. I got really into sourdough TikTok last year, and I thought it would be really fun. I was already making bread, so it wasn't really like a huge stretch. It was just some like new skill that I really wanted to learn. I thought it would be fun, and I also thought it would be fun to document my process. At the beginning of the year, I did successfully make a sourdough starter, and then I moved. And I didn't bother bringing it with me because I was going to be living in a hotel for 2 weeks and I didn't want to deal with it. So that's what happened to that, and then I never made another one. I'll be honest, I have considered doing it since. However, my biggest thing at this point is I just haven't been making bread in general. I feel like my diet has changed quite a bit, and my strictness surrounding food. While I was eating a lot of bread before, a lot of it was because I was training for a marathon. So I was always hungry and constantly eating, and I'm not doing that anymore. So I really actually find that I just don't eat bread. So I haven't been making bread, and I haven't had the sourdough starter. That's kind of where we're at with that. I do see myself possibly starting this over later in the year because now I live in a place with 4 seasons, and I know I'm probably never going to want to leave the house when it's cold out, and I feel like that's like the perfect time to have like a nice cozy warm hobby, not in the dead of summer. So it might happen again, but for now, we're just gonna kind of leave her alone. The way that I set this up was I really wanted to either make them colorful or put in a picture of me doing the thing as I made my way around the board. So they are all gray right now. For this one, I'm gonna keep it gray because I don't have a picture of my sourdough starter, and I did try to make bread with it once and it failed. So we're gonna leave that gray for now. The next one is running. And this was actually based off of a goal that I had last year to run a marathon, which did not happen last year, but I did sign up for one last year. It just happened to be in 2025. In January, I ran a marathon. I ran my first ever marathon. It might be my only one, who knows? Either way, it's done, it's run, and it was so much fun. So that one is complete. I have not really run since, and right now it's just too hot and I really don't have a place to run anymore. I was thinking about doing another marathon later this year, but the race day actually falls on a wedding day that I have to go to. So I don't really know if I'm gonna do another big race or any race at all this year. The biggest reason why I stopped after the race was because I had an injury in December, and obviously I ran on that injury until race day at the end of January. I never fully recovered, so I had to give myself like ample time to heal after race day. I do want to get back into it now that I am better. My ankle's fine, but I know that I need to find a race because without it, I just don't have the motivation to like go out and actually train. But of course, I met my original goal of running a marathon, so we are going to go ahead and add in my photo for that. My next one is also kind of similarly related. I really wanted to join a run club this year. Now, this was something that I kind of challenged myself to do because when I moved, I knew I wasn't really gonna get out too much, and I wanted to use it as a way to meet people locally and make new friends. And I didn't. I followed a local run club on Instagram with the intention of going, and then I never did. Honestly, it just became a matter of their run, like the meetings were in the middle of the week and it was downtown, and I didn't want to deal with parking around 6 p.m. on a weekday, and I didn't live close enough that it made sense, and so I didn't end up going. We'll see if I end up doing that. However, I am actually just going to replace this one. I'm going to replace this one because the goal of it was to be social, to make new friends, and rather than joining a run club, I did end up joining a book club, which worked better with my schedule, and I have made some really incredible friends from it. And so because the outcome was achieved, I'm actually going to replace this with the book club, and I'm not going to put a picture of it because I don't have a picture of it, but I will go ahead and make it colorful so that we know that we've already hit that point for the year. The next one was learning about investing and starting to invest more. This is something that I have done. I will say that I haven't really learned too much about it, but I have just started. I haven't really bared all regarding my finances on the internet because while I respect the people that can do it, to me that's something that's very private and not something that I feel comfortable just putting out there. But I spent the last several years aggressively paying down a stupid amount of debt. With that came putting other financial goals to the side. As someone who already kind of had a retirement account when I was really young, I didn't really think about it, and I didn't really worry about it too much. And then this year I was just kind of like, all right, it's not cute anymore. You're actually at that age where you absolutely need one and you need to start maxing it out. My employer does not do a match for my 401k, and so I started a Roth IRA. And I'm mainly focusing on that right now. I've also started putting more into savings and really bulking up my emergency fund. Because that debt is down, I actually really haven't changed my spending all that much, and I've just been redesignating that money to investing and saving in an effort to max all that out. I didn't finish paying off my debt until about March of this year, so it's really only been a couple months, but I have made a solid dent on my Roth IRA. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. I'm not looking for advice. This is just the way that I've found works for me for my first year in so many years investing into my retirement. And this is not going to be a 1 year thing. This is going to be over the course of many years. So this is going to be an ongoing journey for me, and I'm excited to learn more about it each year and as new things come up. My next one is moving to a new apartment, and I did. Obviously, I didn't really have a choice when I decided to move clear across the country. I had to have a place to live. However, I really did want to kind of upgrade my living situation. My old apartment, if you've been following me for a while, I kind of showed bits and pieces of it. I would have considered it very not luxury apartment. And I know luxury apartment is such a key word, SEO. It doesn't even mean anything anymore. However, it didn't have indoor hallways, didn't have an elevator. I was on the 3rd floor. It didn't have any smart appliances or smart anything. The place that I moved to has elevators, indoor hallways, which is normal for the region, so that's not a huge thing. We have smart appliances. Our buildings are energy efficient. We have a little more security surrounding that. We have a way nicer gym. I will say the pool is a little bit smaller, just as nice, but we do have access, we're very close to everything. And so I would say that this in terms of my definition of it, is definitely more of a luxury apartment. It's definitely an upgrade. Am I paying for it? Absolutely. But again, I just paid off a crap load of debt, and I also like work from home. I'm going to school at home. I live here, obviously. I wanted to make sure that my living space was comfortable and that I wasn't just like living in this crappy apartment to pay less rent, because I'm at an age where honestly, I don't care. I don't care. If I can buy a home, great. That would be amazing. But I'm also like, if this is my living situation for now, I'm going to make the most of it and make sure that I enjoy it, especially if I'm here like literally 90% of the time. It's actually very hard to focus on doing makeup while talking about this stuff. What is next? Oh, the Russian flag. I was supposed to work on my Russian language this year, and I chose Russian when I was in college years and years ago, so please don't get upset with me. This is long before anything happened, and I really enjoyed it. Here's the thing. And you can write this one down, hate Duolingo. I used to absolutely love it. It was so useful, especially because I had learned a lot of the language in a classroom setting and felt comfortable with it enough that I could learn on my own. I didn't think it was too helpful for starting completely from scratch on a new language, but I did really like it for that specific purpose. However, it was like ad after ad after ad, and when I talked to people that purchased the ad-free version, they were still getting ads, just not third-party ads. They were getting upgrade for Duolingo ads, and I was like, I'm not paying for that. I don't care that much. And it also, unless you're using like Spanish or I think French and German, like one of the AI powered languages on Duolingo, you're repeating the same exercises again and again and again. It's like they only knew 5 words and they're gonna keep teaching you those same 5 words. Russian, there was a lot for, but I did feel like a lot of the content was repeated. It was very redundant, and I didn't really feel like I was actually increasing my Russian skills, and so I deleted it. I hated it. I liked that they gamified language learning, but it just wasn't working for me. And now that I've thought about it, I actually am switching the language goals. Obviously, I'd really like to continue with Russian just because I know it, it's there in my head. I want to at least keep up what I do know, which is pretty like minimal kind of conversational stuff. However, I really want to learn a language that is popular in a place that I would consider living. Long story short, I made a deal with myself a few years ago, and I was like, in the next 5 years, I'm gonna do one of 2 things. I'm gonna buy a house, which means, and here was the big part that I couldn't reach, I have found a place here in this country that I feel comfortable and safe and am willing to call home. That was the tricky part, not buying the house. Or I'm gonna start exploring other countries that I might want to move to and my options for doing that. That being said, I'm not moving to Russia, right? I'm not moving to Russia, but I do want to make sure that if I ever do decide to move to a different country, that I can speak their language and work as a part of their community normally. So I think that now, instead of Russian, I'm really going to be focusing any of the extra time that I have outside of school and work on Portuguese. I thought that that would kind of be a better use of my time if I want to learn a language. So we're actually going to switch to that. I haven't started that. The most I've gotten is I got a book for it because I've had so much going on. But we are working on that. We are switching gears to Portuguese, and we'll see where we're at the end of the year. New York City is next. So at the beginning of the year, obviously I had made the decision by that point to move up north to New England, and I knew that I was going to be much closer to New York City. I love New York City. Been there a million times. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite places in the world. I was like, oh, it'll be so close. I'm going to go all the time. I really want to see like New York City Ballet or maybe the Rockettes perform. That hasn't happened. And the reason why it hasn't happened is I wasn't expecting to move up here and meet so many cool people and find so many cool things to do close to home. I do love the city at the holiday time, so I am going to plan on going later this year during the holidays to see the city decorated and see all the shows and stuff like that. So I am still planning on doing that. However, I'm not going to put so much pressure on myself because I'm also just enjoying what I have at home now. School. If you follow me regularly, you've probably seen me make some videos about me studying and being back in school. I did just start my grad school program this summer, and it's something that I'm very excited about. It's something that I've been considering doing for the last couple years, but I didn't really know where I wanted to go, what I wanted to study. There was a lot of factors that I just never took the time to look into until late last year, which was, I would say, about 90% of the reason why I moved. I didn't find a good school in Florida that I wanted to attend, and so I ended up moving to New England because I felt like we just have better schools up here. That is all entirely, up to what you're studying and how much you're willing to spend. But for me, I really was like, this might be the last time in my life that I can just pick up and move anywhere, and I don't want to regret not doing it. So here I am. I have started my courses. It will be about a 2-year program. I'm not planning on taking classes next summer. I just wanted to start this summer to kind of ease myself into it. So right now I'm taking online courses, and then in the fall I will have a full course load, a mix between online, hybrid, and in-person. So I'm very excited about that. So because obviously I'm not going to be completing my degree this year, I will put this in color because the only goal was to start, and I did apply, get accepted, and start all this year, which is very, very exciting. I think that's the Harry Potter train. That's definitely the Harry Potter train because I wanted to go to, I believe it's in Ireland, actually. I wanted to visit all the England, Ireland, Scotland. I'm gonna mess that up. If you're from there, I'm sorry, but all those islands. I really wanted to visit there, and I thought I was going to because my aunt really wanted to go early this fall, but now we've got a wedding in the family. I have another wedding. Also, I have school. Also, I have work. And so I don't really think that's going to happen this year. Plus, like I said, I've been having so much fun doing stuff that's nearby and local to me now. And there's so much more than I thought there was going to be. And so I really don't feel the urge to travel the way that I did when I felt stuck in Florida. And so this is still a trip that I very much want to do, but it's definitely going to get pushed to another year. I'm thinking maybe like as a grad trip or as a trip next summer because my sister is also a teacher. So if we both have the summer off next year, that could be so much fun to do Europe together. So we are going to push that one off to another year. It's going to stay gray, but for a good reason. Like, we're not unhappy here. We're not stuck here. We're having fun. The next one is also a travel photo. This one specifically is Maine. And I don't know if Maine's gonna happen this year. It's very iffy because it's a drive. It's something that I can drive to and just stay for the weekend if I want. I just don't know. I just don't know because, like I said, I have multiple weddings coming up in the fall. Obviously, I have the holidays, and I don't really live close by to much of my family, and so I expect to be traveling. It's already July, and if I'm going to be traveling in October and November and December, all we've got is August and September. And I know I can travel later in the year, but one, it's going to be cold, and two, it's just a lot of money spent on travel. And so I think that between that and between it being my first semester with a full course load, I'm not going to be able to do it this fall. But if I do, that'll be a nice surprise. It's like a little small vacation that's like not super far. But if not, I'm fine with pushing it to next year. Again, I don't feel trapped where I live anymore. So I really don't feel like that urge to travel to new places because I'm busy experiencing all the new stuff that I have here. So that'll stay gray, and that's okay. Oh my God, that's the last one. Our last one is my available balance being $100,000. I actually saw this thing, I think it was Amber Shawl on YouTube, say that she goes in and screenshots her account and edits, like photoshops the account balance when she puts it on her vision board. I did that this year, although you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference anyways. Where's my mascara? That's what I did this year, and my goal still is to hit $100,000 in savings. Do I think that's gonna happen? No, it probably won't happen till next year. But the reason that it's not gonna happen is because I've been prioritizing things like investing and things like paying off my debt and having a nice apartment and all of these other things. So I think that it's definitely doable without getting aggressive with it next year, I would say. I would say next year, definitely going to happen. And I think I could do it this year if I was more aggressive. But as someone who just finished aggressively paying off debt, I'm not trying to be like that anymore. Like, I'm enjoying my life and it's not that big of a deal. So I'm going to leave that there. It's going to stay in the gray. But we are well on our way. I am considering making that lower, like a little, you know, I'm thinking of the word checkpoint. But I don't even know if we need to do that. Maybe we will edit it. I think we'll edit it. We'll bring it down to, do we think, I think I can hit 50. We'll bring it down to 50 and we'll make 100 for next year. I think that's a pretty good place to start because I know I'm not going to hit that number, but we're definitely like well on our way. We're definitely in a way better place than we were even at the beginning of this year. So I'm pretty proud of myself for that. I'm looking at my computer over here, by the way. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did 5. We did the baking thing. And we have plans to do at least 2 more, maybe on the main, no on the Ireland. But I'm really happy with that. Honestly though, I feel like going into this video, I thought it was going to be way worse. So I'm actually like very, very impressed with myself. We're setting a good pace. We've made good progress. Again, halfway through the year to be doing some of those big things. That's huge. I'm really proud of myself. I know that's such a like, maybe it sounds conceited to say, but if you don't tell yourself that you're proud of yourself, you should. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. I think we're calling that. We've done so good. I'm so proud of myself. Is my makeup done? Did I remember everything? I did. Awesome. You'd be shocked how often I forget steps of my makeup routine. Thanks for hanging out with me today while we went through my 2025 vision board to kind of see where I'm at so far and what pace we're on for the rest of the year. It is almost the middle of July. Like, we're getting up there, right? We're over halfway through the year, but I would say that I'm very, very happy with how much I've done this year. I've done a lot of the big stuff that I've been wanting to do for so long. Like, it makes me kind of emotional to think about because I'm just so excited. Think of the life that I'm living as like the life that I wanted to be living several years ago, and now I get to experience it all, and it's been so much fun, and I know it's just gonna keep getting better. I think we'll do another check-in later at the end of the year before making a new vision board for 2026. However, no rush and no pressure. We are not trying to fast forward time. I am enjoying it way too much nowadays. If you made a vision board or made goals for 2025, I would love to hear which ones you already completed, which ones you're working on, maybe some that you had to drop off the list or push to next year. It happens. It's all good. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Your time is really valuable, and I am so grateful that you chose to spend some of your time with me. If you liked my content, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell to get notified every time that I post. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye.